What is up, all you beautiful people? It is I, AkemiTCG, back here with the brand new video. So for the past couple weeks, or rather, just the past week and a half, I was just testing a random build because I thought it'd be really fun. And you're gonna see some sus cards. There's a cannon soldier right there. Give me 1 second. Anyways, you're gonna see some sus cards in this build because I thought it'd be really funny to bring to locals. And if you don't know what deck this is Numeron. If you want a quick synopsis of how the deck works, basically the main idea is to activate Numeron Network, which is the field spell, right here. While you have no monsters in the field, you can send Numeron Calling from your deck to the graveyard, and that literally just lets you summon 1, 2, 3, and 4. You can summon as many as you want, up through 1 through 4. You can just summon 3 if you want to as well. But the idea is these attack into monsters, they each double the attack. They hit another monster, doubles the attack again. Basically, really quick games. And also, if let's say you don't kill your opponent that turn, during the end phase it gets banished because of Numeron Calling. So you want to just either link off with them, do whatever you want with them, and usually you get yourself Appaloosa, Megaclops if they can't get over it. Before battle, Borolo Dragon, if they have a problematic card, you can just take control of it. Avormax for the Sky Striker matchups. Ceroboros, so you guys are big. Or you just link off with your opponent's monster with this. So you just have a lot of options with this deck. I just thought it'd be really fun just to play at locals and see how it does in this format. And surprisingly, it does relatively well. I believe, out of the 11 matches I've played, I won 8 of them, which is a pretty good track record. Take it as you may, that was just from 2 locals, okay? So, let's begin. And if you're wondering what this field center is, this is a custom exclusive field center from AkemiTCG.com. That is my website. If you want your custom Teardrop, the Rika Queen metal field center, it is all yours on the site. Anyways, here's the profile. We have 1 cannon soldier. This card is really good because just in case you don't kill your opponent with your 4 monsters you summon, you literally normal summon cannon soldier, activate the effect, tribute 500, 500, 500, 500, and this is itself. You can also tribute itself for 2500. So if you need that little bit extra gas for game, it works. It's also a machine, so when you use limited removal, you can double its attack. And if you stack 3 of them, then you just good at the game, right? So 1 cannon soldier, 2 Gamma Seals. That's my kaiju choice, the small kaiju. As long as it hits 2000 attack, which is literally all the kaijus, you're good to go for OTK. 2 Jizakuru. The only reason why I play this and Gamma Seal is this is a machine. So if you summon Gamma Seal on your opponent's side, then you special summon Jizakuru on your side because you control a kaiju. You can just use limiter and pop off. And I've actually won games where just Jizakuru just triple limiter for game. Does happen. Lava Golem, obviously for the pesky matchups, Dryton, thinking in some cases Virtual World, and also in some cases the Bird Up deck, or Trapagate deck rather, it works extremely well. So when they play Revolt, they have to use the Shoe Rag immediately instead of just waiting with their other guy. Obviously 3 Numeron Wall to end battle, and also to activate Numeron Network from the deck. It does not search Numeron Network, so it plays around Ash, which is relatively good this format. 3 Planet Pathfinder. This guy tributes for cost, so on summon they have to Imperm Valor it, but it adds the field spell from the deck to the hand, which is really good. So you add either Mystic Mind or all the good stuff. Now on to the spells. 1 call by. You play it because you can. You're worried about certain hand traps, especially if they play a Ghost Ogre. I don't know anybody that plays Ghost Ogre in 2021 so far. But if you do, you can just call by the grave. If you have an Appaloosa and you negate the Dryton card with Appaloosa, then they chain orange, then you just call by the grave the orange. It's relatively free. 3 Cosmic, just because this deck does lose the anti-spell fragrance and or the Imperial Order, so you have to be able to chain this during standby whenever possible. So that's why you maximize on it. 3 Forbidden Droplet. You don't have to play this card. You can play Chalice instead, but if they make something like Dragoon, something that's untargetable or something that's chainable, then you're kind of out of luck and you kind of have to play Droplet. For example, in the Dryton matchup, they can use Ultimate in this multiple times. You could play Chalice, and it'll force out the bait almost every time, but in hindsight, I think drop is just a better card for this scenario. 1 Duster, get rid of their back row. Hey Trunade, more back row hate. 3 Lightning Storm, back row and front row hate. If you drop with them, then you can Lightning Storm afterwards. If they're indestructible, etc., you can destroy back row with this. Basically, the idea is you want nothing standing in your way when you're trying to wreck your opponent. And sometimes, on that some occasion, they have that random battle trap. Then you can just plow them over and using all these back row removal. Obviously, you can play Twin Twisters over this, but you do have to neg 1 per copy of Twin Twisters. 3 Limiter, because we're playing a lot of machine types, and also the exceeds all machines. 2 Calling, that's self-explanatory. 3 Network, you need this in your hand. You can only resolve this twice per duel, because you're only playing, well, it depends, right? Because you can just use Network. Actually, no, never mind. You can only resolve it twice per duel because you're only playing 2 Calling. Unless you somehow recycle the Calling back into your deck, you're probably not going to go past the 2nd Calling. This is all or nothing when you're playing this deck. And 3 Pot of Desires. I know you're going to be like, AkemiTCG, you're nuts. You're playing 2 Callings, you're playing 3 Desires, you're nuts. It's okay. I've never banished all of my Callings, and if it does, then my opponent's already won that match anyways. That's okay. Not the duel, like I said. They didn't win the duel, they won the whole match. If I banish both copies of Calling off of this, then they got it. They got the whole match, man. 2 Mystic Mind, just to stop your opponent from doing stuff. You could play 3 if you really want. It's completely up to you. And then 1 Terraforming to search either Mystic Mind or the other guy. Anyways, now for the extra deck. It's really, really simple. Super cookie cutter. Nothing too complicated. You're playing 2 of each number. So 2 1, 2 2s, 2 3s, 2 4s. What you want to do is, let's say you want to summon Megaclops. This is a spicy tech here. If you want to just summon Megaclops, you can go 1, 2, 3. And you can potentially save another copy of 1. This is, by the way, if you're just playing a 3rd Calling, because I know you only play 2 Calling, so you're going to activate it twice. But once you go through your last one, if you keep this number 1 in your extra deck, you can just go right on top for C1. That's only if you're playing a 3rd Calling. I know it never gets that far. Duels don't usually last that long nowadays, especially if you're playing this deck. But that's just something you think about, because you can stack this right on top of 1, which makes it super, super useful, and it does burn damage. Links, you want to play Appaloosa, Dry Tone matchup, and several other matchups as well. Megaclops, because a lot of decks just can't get over this card because it's strong. Borlo Dragon, to take the BLS, the Dragoon, etc. Avermax against specific matchups, specifically Sky Striker. I know they can get over with Ningirsu, but that forces them to go into extra resources. And in your graveyard, most of the time, let's say you open up Network, they can't, what's it called? They can't Shark Cannon your numbers 1 through 4 because they were not successfully exceed summon, so you're relatively safe there. 0 Boros, just in case you banish too many cards, or they're playing Grand Maju, so you get the huge buff against 200 per banish. And also Niharu, the Underworld Goddess, if they're playing a wonky deck that has everything resolved in the graveyard and the whole deck is non-targeting, you can just use your 4 and use one of their cards to summon it. Even if it's Dragoon, you just summon it off of that too. It's really, really free. And it has won me a couple of duels too. The card itself is really, really strong. You can't talents this card either, because talents doesn't target and it's unaffected by cards that don't target. Anyways, on to the sideboard. We have 3 lands here for Tri-Brigade, Ghost Spell for Dryton, and some other oh wait, not just Dryton, but also for Tri-Brigade. I don't have cycle readers, so I'm just gonna make do with what I have. 3 Demise. If you're going first, they force you to go first. You can just Demise. They special summon, just summon Mystic Mind, or activate Mystic Mind rather. Hey Trunade. This is probably gonna be for something else. I just had to take it out last second. Mystic Mind. Just in case you're going first, you want to Demise, get that Mystic Mind out. Same with Set Rotation. Same idea. 1 Evenly Match. I honestly just might take out the the Hey Trunade for just a second copy of Evenly Matched, because it's such a strong card right now, and a lot of decks are just simply playing really, really strong Floodgate trap cards to prevent you from using spells. So Evenly Matched is a way to get out or at least force them to either keep their Floodgate or keep whatever else they want to keep. Last but not least, if you go in first, just put in 3 Solemn Judgment. If you go in first, might as well. Anyways, that is it for the video. Hope you all enjoyed this deck profile. I know it's a little bit different than my other profiles, but I have to actually take this apart just because I'm going to a relatively big Yu-Gi-Oh event, and I will report on it on this channel. Obviously, I'm not taking this to the event, but this was definitely a lot of fun. If you have EDU Pro, DB, I highly recommend just trying out this deck if you want to troll your opponent. Anyways, my name is AkemiTCG. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
The world ends now.